People, welcome to Unity on the Mountain. We're glad to have you here this morning. I don't know, can you hear me through the microphone? I don't even know. We're going to go ahead and stand up, and we're going to open up the service with Welcome to the Temple, and we will guide you through. You'll sing along, I'm sure, at some point, or follow Isley. This is my grandson, Gage, just so you know, he's not mine. How's that? Welcome to the temple, welcome to the sanctuary. You don't have to worry, you just come on in. Welcome to the presence, welcome to the family. We are here to greet you, you just come on in. Come on in and sit down. We know you're looking for a place of love. And do you hear all the voices raised in song? So take your heart in your hand, this is where you belong. And don't let us down, welcome to the temple, welcome to the sanctuary. You don't have to worry, you just come on in. Welcome to the presence, welcome to the family. No, we are here to greet you, you just come on in. Come on in and sit down. We know you're looking for a place of love. And do you hear all the voices raised in song? So take your heart in your hands, this is where you belong. And open up the doors now, welcome to the temple, welcome to the sanctuary. You don't have to worry, you just come on in. Welcome to the presence, welcome to the family. We are here to greet you, you just come on in. Come on in and sit down. Welcome, welcome, come on in. Welcome, welcome, come on in. Welcome, welcome, come on in. One more time. Welcome, welcome, come on in. Welcome. Good morning, shake hands, say namaste. How are you doing this morning? Good morning, Bob. Good grip like pro wrestler or something. The dance part. So glad to have you this morning. Okay.
So glad to see you. We're so glad you brought tea. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's so wonderful to have you all here at Unity Church on the Mountain on this beautiful fall morning. I would like to introduce our speaker, Reverend Denise Wheeler.
Morning.
Welcome. Delight to have you here with us, and we're looking forward to your talk. And Reverend Denise attended for how many years? 25 years. Unity in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm a transplant. I'm not sure if you're supposed to transplant things in the wintertime. I came in a pot, so they wouldn't keep me in the house until it warms up. This is different from Florida, so.
Oh,
yes.
Well, we're so glad you're here, and we're looking forward to it.
And let's give it a hand.
And just a friendly reminder, we do have Kids Chapel upstairs. If your boys want to go ahead and head up, and she is now there. They are welcome to join.
Thank you.
Hi, good looking fellas.
Great.
See you later. Just a little bit. All right. Bye. I know, good looking. Yeah. Raised with confidence and love.
Yes.
All right. So what is next?
Our opening statement. And it's to be found on the wall and in our bulletin. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God the good. This is our Christ candle, which represents that sweet, divine essence within each and every one of us. Let us affirm together our vision and mission statements. Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love. The children's blessing. We had two fine boys. They went upstairs, and we have Gage.
And we have a young fella in the back too. And
Oh yes, thank you
Brother
so much.
upstairs.
Great job on the
Always on the AV. Thank you.
Let us think of all the children in the world and in our separate lives. They're all so precious. By saying, we love you, we bless you, we behold the Christ in you, we accept you just the way you are. Walk in beauty, you are divine.
All right, well, thank you so much. Then we're going to go ahead and stand up and sing another song. It's called We Come in Thanks. It's real short and sweet and flowy. And I will guide you through it. And I apologize, I'm still trying to get this cold. So, a little hoarse. Hopefully, can you hear me okay out there? Is the volume okay? Okay, good. Here we go. We come in thanks, praise the Lord, blessings for life, both great and small. We come
this is our prayer box. And written prayer requests are put in here by our church family. And they remain here for a couple of weeks, and then they are sent off to Silent Unity in Unity Village. And those wonderful, wonderful prayer associates pray over them, I think about 3 weeks. They're put in the chapel. And let us now know that these prayer requests have already been answered. They're blessed. And all is well. The answers are established through the love and power of Jesus Christ in somebody's. And now, Tammy will read the Daily Word.
Okay. I guess should I stand here?
Yeah.
Okay. You're good. You can go front if you want. The daily word in this moment. Each moment is filled with unlimited possibilities. My heart, my mind and heart are firmly present in the now, rather than past hurts or future worries. One way for me to release the past is to honor it for what it has given me. I've been blessed with many opportunities for growth, whether I currently judge them as pleasant or unpleasant. Each one has given me a chance to stretch the wings of my soul and try out new spiritual gifts with God. I dare to follow my dreams. Divine power makes me all things new, bringing about the best and the highest for me and for all whom I love. I feel my awareness of God's presence expanding within me, nourishing my soul and awakening my realization that life is filled with unlimited possibilities. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalms 118:24.
Thank you very much, Tammy. This is Tammy's debut. You did a great job.
Thank you, Joan.
All right. Let us prepare ourselves to say together our sacred Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Good morning.
I have the pleasure today of sharing a meditation with you. And it will unfold as it should right into our talk today too. So I'm very, very honored to be here. My favorite statement when I first came to Unity was actually came from Psalm 130. You all heard it, but you've heard part of it. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in unity. And I really love that. But it goes on. It says, it is like a upon the head, that ran down upon the beard, and even Aaron's beard, and it went down to the skirts of his garment. And when you hold that image in your mind of an anointing, you can feel the presence of spirit literally just gently touch the crown of your head and bless your forehead, and it just comes right down through your bones and down to the hem of your skirt and even further. So I want to always start with that. And I also want us to gather together in inner communion. I'm going to invite you right now to close your eyes. Let your hands rest in your lap or on your knees. Bring your awareness to your breath and to your breathing. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. The Lord formed man, humanity, of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man, humanity, became a living, breathing being. It does not say God blew into the man's nose from the outside. It says God breathed in. Place your right hand over your belly and your left hand over your heart center. Now, let us all breathe in. Breathe in slowly with awareness through your own nostrils. And remembering that it said God breathed in. Where is God now? In this temple, the physical temple, the temple of your flesh and bones. Lift up your eyes, lift up your consciousness to that place where we are all one. Father, Mother God, you are breathing here. In us, for us, and as us. And as we unite in that consciousness, there's only one of us, only one me, only one I, the real I. So from this awareness, I say thank you. All through last month, Reverend Carol had some beautiful messages. She was inviting us to seek a new perspective about some of the beliefs that we have. And we all have beliefs, maybe not hidden agendas, but we have hidden beliefs that we may not know that we hold within. So she invited us to have a new perspective and to challenge these beliefs to see if they're actually true. Are they our own, or are they part of our childhood indoctrination? Back in September, Reverend Wanda Gale shared stories from her childhood and her history and her path. And she too invited us to challenge our belief systems, whether they were serving us, whether they were serving the community, and whether they were even healthy or wholesome. So today is a little bit about challenging belief systems, but it's really about challenging what we believe healing means to us, because it means different things to different people. So before we go too far, I want to begin today to remind all of us about the meaning of the word inspire. I'm a yoga instructor, so we teach a lot of breath work, and inspiration is to breathe in. I found this on the online dictionary. To inspire is immediate influence of God or a God, especially that under which the holy books were written, as the old French word inspiration, inhaling, breathing in, inspiration. And we just did that. And in the breathing in, you also became aware of where your inspiration comes from, both literally and figuratively. So the source of our breath, our inspiration, is one and the same. It's figurative, it's literal, it's inseparable, and it's also interchangeable. So I'm going to tie this together, our breath and our belief systems. But before I do, I too want to disclose a little bit so that you know where I come from. I was actually born and raised in a heavy Catholic environment. But, you can tell that I don't talk like I've lived here my whole life. My family is French-Canadian, and so we have a beautiful and a rich history there that goes back probably further than I've ever followed. But I was indoctrinated into Catholic faith, and a lot of the fears that were instilled upon a little child and how a little child's beliefs can be magnified under the pressure of those fears. So as an adult, I moved away from that, and I moved into what I understood to be a Christian practice. And some people will say, you know, Catholic's Christian. I've been asked that before because there are some people that think that it's different. But the Catholics still very much worship Jesus Christ. And so I thought I was getting away from one indoctrination and one heavy with dogma and rules. And I found a little bit lighter path for a few years. But then I found unity. And that literally changed my life, how it was all embracing. They didn't care where you came from, they didn't care about your background, they just wanted you to love yourself, realize that divinity wasn't out there on some cloud somewhere, but was literally in here, where you've just breathed in, where you have, if you do this with me, touch the face of God, like the poet says. There's the face of God right there. So, the other part of my path that started to develop was that I fell in love with yoga. And yoga to be an instructor. I was invited to go to a yoga class because a coworker had heard that yoga was good for stress management, but she wasn't going to go by herself. So I was like, oh, I don't know the first thing about that, but I'll go with you just to, be your companion. And we went, and something happened to me right in the middle of one of the poses, and I like froze in that moment. I don't know what happened in here, but I found myself in there. And I decided right in that moment, I'm going to do this yoga for the rest of my life, as I felt I wanted to do and be unity for the rest of my life. So I have blended the two, and my unity has reflected my yogic path, and the yoga also has been influenced by unity. So how do you tie those two in? Well, I want to say that after reading Mr. Fillmore for many, many years now, he was well versed in, very, very studied in many, many sacred traditions, not just the Bible, not just Old Testament, New Testament. He was well studied in the Eastern religions, Buddhism, Hinduism, and we know that yoga's roots are from Hinduism and Vedanta. So here's what he has to say about meditation, for one thing, which, you can't say that you teach yoga if you don't include meditation. They two are inseparable. This is Christian Healing. It's the first book Mr. Fillmore ever put into print in 1909. And it's also the first time you hear terms like practical Christianity. It's the first book that Unity ever published. So this little teeny volume has a lot of important aspects in it. Mr. Fillmore says a daily half hour of meditation will open up the mind to a consciousness of the inner one and will reveal many things that are hidden from the natural man. So remind yourself that whenever you're doing this, Spirit is revealing itself to you, your small self. And that whenever your consciousness shifts just enough that when you breathe in, you can literally place yourself in a meditative state, and you have to be careful where you are when you do that. You may be driving a car, you may be in conversation, and I will tell you that regularly when I'm teaching yoga, I just kind of forget where I am, and I have to call the student and go, what were we doing? Because you float in and out of it. It's like you have 1 foot here and 1 foot there, and we're being invited to find that balance between the spiritual life and the physical life. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I did not know that there was balance there. I thought you had to have one or the other. And it was unity, and my study through the Fillmores that has helped me to understand that yes, you can have balance. Even the yoga, the physical balance that you do in yoga, where you do this, that, taking your yoga off the mat and living your life, it's like these two, to me, are completely interconnected. I can't, just like inspiration and breath, they're interconnected, they're interchangeable, and I cannot separate them anymore. So I hope that I'm sharing enough that with clarity that some of this makes sense to you, because in a different venue, I would have people that are either getting up and going out the door or going, what is she saying? Because it doesn't make sense, okay? But I know that to us, more than likely it does. So, something happened while I was reading and rereading this little book, Christian Healing. At first, a lot of the Fillmore's work seems very simple. It's meant for the simple folk who need need to have written words so that a 6-year-old would understand it. Right? That was just me. Right? Break it down for me, because if you talk with those 50-cent words, they might go right over his head. So I was reading this, and while I studied this information, I started to watch myself while she was studying. Something was unfolding inside of her. So, you know, if you have something that you're unfolding, that doesn't mean you went out to get it and you brought it in. It was already in there, but it was just wrapped up tight in a bud. And in this unfolding, this new consciousness emerged for me. My ego consciousness went from trying to grasp what he had to say. My intellect started to understand what Mr. Fillmore was saying. But at some point, I actually came to what I call the realization. I have to bring you a picture here, because I came prepared with my picture. You all can see that? So this is definition for realizing. Real, and then the I, like, there's only one of us, the I. Not this I, the big I. And so that realization came as an experience. So I came to understand that you can understand something but never have the experience of it. So in that, you're missing a little piece of something, and it doesn't feel complete. And there's a idiom that's been going around, and I know Unity's had it for years and years and years. The longest journey is from the head to the heart. Maybe I even said that backwards, but for me, the longest journey was going from my intellect, where the understanding was, down here to the heart, where the knowing and the experience of this realization was. And what is the realization? It's what we did earlier when we went like this. I too am God, and you are God, and you are God. And we can all say for ourselves, I too am God. Not just some God that shows up after we die, not some God that you had to plead to. Yoga means union, oneness, and the ultimate goal of all yoga in their true tradition is the union, not just of body, mind, spirit, but union with the divine within us. So Mr. Fillmore was very, very well versed in Hindu scripture and many others, as I'm really beginning to find out. So it's like what I believe, 120 years later is not so far-fetched after all, because somebody else already walked that path for me and left little nuggets for me to follow. So the other thing that happened while I was having these realizations was that this title, Christian Healing, had more than one meaning. Reverend Carol had invited us already to seek a new perspective, and so did Wanda Gale. And so the new perspective that arose for me was, there's Christian healing where we would like to go out into the world. May I use you for a model? And the greatest desire would be to just bless someone, and whatever the affliction, inside or out, that they'd be healed. That's the truest form of compassion. And that was always my understanding about Christian healing. But something else happened while I was reading this little book. The Christian in me was healed. healed of dogma, healed of all of the indoctrination that says it has to be only this way or you're going to get it wrong. And the recognition that I had not done enough forgiveness work to heal myself also became a healing. So I found this new perspective for myself that I'm sharing with you because I know some of you probably have already been there, done that. You know what I'm talking about. But it's also carrying this same theme that's been going on through the entire fall with all of the speakers that have been coming. Open your eyes and your inner eye to a different meaning, a different perspective, and challenge those beliefs if they're true and if they're yours. And if they're not, can you just, leave them? Can you just leave them here and walk away and be free? And don't carry those belief systems with you. In Luke 17:21, Jesus himself tells us, the kingdom of God is in the midst of you. And that means different things to different people too. It also means a lot of things on a lot of levels. The kingdom of God is in the midst of me, in the midst of you, in the midst that we can see out here, in the midst of our community, if we could, as Wanda Gale invited us to do, see with fresh eyes and see beyond color, see beyond someone else's anguish, where they're acting out, and change the perspective enough to be not just open-minded, as we've already talked about, but open-hearted. If the kingdom of heaven is in the midst of me, and when I breathe, it is God that's breathing. This same one is also breathing in the one that I see as my adversary, my opponent, someone that I might perceive as different. When you look at other people, or actually if you look at anything, you can even look at something like this and see it with an expanded consciousness. There's beauty everywhere. There's nothing that isn't beautiful, that isn't sweet. Even in sadness that you experience, we all know this term bittersweet. And that has its own roots. So my invitation today, and we know too, when two or more are gathered, he also says, I am there in the midst of you. The I am. Well, who is this I am? All of you can say I am when you define who you are when someone asks. But it's the same I am that Moses called upon. By whose authority should I tell them sent me? Because he didn't have the self-confidence to say, God talked to me. And the authority was the I am that I am. So I stand here, the I am that I am as Denise, the I am that I am as you, the I am that I am as you, and so it goes. There's only one I am. So I want to invite you to bring this thought with you into the silence for just a moment. Place your right hand over your belly. And and your left hand over your heart center. And this time, if you keep your eyes open, it will happen. If you start to look around the room, it will change. As you look into the eyes of another, you will see that as I breathe in, I see myself breathing in. And as I breathe out, that same air that's in the room, it just goes in someone else that looks different. But there's only one me here. And to me, that's the biggest miracle of all. There's only one of us here. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace that you so desire. Yes. By any other name, namaste. I end every one of my classes with this blessing. I honor that place within you where the entire universe dwells. I honor that place within each of you that is filled with your light and your love, your compassion and your joy, your wisdom, your truth, and your peace. And when you are coming from that place inside of you, and I too am coming from that place inside of me, and when our neighbor is coming from that place inside of them, together we are all one. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
It was lovely.
We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing another song. It's number 36 in your red songbook if you want to follow along there. And we're actually going to, if we're following in the book, we're going to sing the first verse twice. But it's on the wall as a three. And we're going to sing. You ready? Okay. Praise to God, immortal praise, for the love that crowns our days. now we have a guest performer. Dean Isley is going to come up and sing one of his original songs. We are so grateful for that. Dean, do you want to
As I was listening to the sermon, the word inspiration really touched me. And I realized that it was the moment of inspiration that brought this song to me. I cannot take credit for writing it, but it comes from a scripture in the Nagamadi Library. The trimorphic Protennoia, and the name of the song is Protennoia, which is a Coptic word, and it simply means first thought. So, as I play today, I hope that you'll remember that inspiration that we felt as we were hearing the talk that we had today, and the meditation that preceded it. And,
What does it mean again?
it means first thought.
Oh, first thought.
First thought.
Okay.
Within me, within